Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile 2. In this episode, let's show you guys this crazy item. I bought this jewel for 100D on trade. It's the Prism of Belief. The lore's entropy can be reversed. When I think of entropy in PoE, it was like evasion. It was like the guarantee that technically after being hit, then you cannot be hit again if you have some evasion and you evade the next attack in the last 4 seconds, as long as you've been hit in the last 4 seconds. Anyways, +3 to all scaly frost mage skills. Holy. So technically, yeah, you could use more than one and they'd all get the levels. So we got our Skelly Frost Mage to 35. You get this from the Arbiter of Ash, the big boss, and then it gave a +3, and it was actually bugged where it showed the level, but it didn't update the tooltip right away. But yeah, we're up to 13.6k. And then I also took this extra +1 cold skill level because this actually works as well, but it was bugged on visually. It was actually working, but it looked like it didn't work. So I had gotten an extra level through here, and I took out the jewel socket, the extra one, and then yeah, we took Prism of Belief, and I dropped just one of my crit jewels, so it's just crit with damage. But that +3 is huge. Each level is like 18% extra damage or something, so it's like huge, massive jewel, 100D. There, I'll have to show you now how to actually search for this, because it's not that easy. So you have Prism of Belief, and you have to know the exact number of the thing you're searching for, and then even when you know the number, it's a little scuffed. So basically, you would take the thing, and it would say number. So yeah, you have to do 51 to 52 if you wanted level 1 to 3. But in this case, we're doing just the highest level. And so you can see that it still shows up other skills, Ice Strike and Wind Blast, but then it's going to also have the +3 to Skeletal Mages. So now it's apparently 188D and 250. It went up. Rip. So then I wanted to show 51.5, and then I was thinking, like, let's say we put a D price of 25 minimum. So then we can find +2, 48, 50, 50, 53. Yeah, so +2 is a lot cheaper. +1 is crazy. And then I wanted to try to look up, yeah, Skeletal Frostmage. So just one level, 25. But I don't think that this is that great because you could just path to the +1 on the tree. And then that's 4 points. So it's like 4-point jewel socket. So imagine a 4-point for +1. And it's like the same as this. It's decent, but it's not worth spending a ton of currency on it. So then let's see how cheap this actually is. So it's all the way at 10. What about 5? And this really shows you because they're 10. 10 was the cheapest, yeah. So that's just for +1. So that +1 cold is basically worth 10D. So you should definitely take that +1 cold if you don't already have it. And then it also, another benefit of doing all these extra levels is the Skeletal Frostmage levels, then that gains life. So then we have extra max life. And I actually took out minion life. I have less, so I actually just gained life. We had like under 10k on them before, and now it's 12.3, so it's a lot more. And then we also obviously do the extra damage. We were at like 7k. And now I'm almost 14k, so I literally like doubled my damage with these extra levels. I also hit the corruption on the gem, so we have the 21, and they fixed it in the patch, so yeah, get the extra level from the corruption. I don't have the extra quality anymore for the reduced reservation, but seriously, +1 for 4 points. Imagine only 1% reduced reservation. For 4 points. It's crazy, dude. It'd be like a quarter of a reduced reservation. I was making a point that that boot that gives reduced reservation on the minion skills would be like 20 levels basically if you had to convert it the other way around. Like, this quality is so tiny compared to what reduced reservation you can get. and what you can get instead with the +1. So yeah, I showed how to search for all 3 of the Prism of Beliefs. Technically, obviously, there's different numbers for each of the different skills. I don't know all of them. That's the only one I really know, is because the one I'm doing, my DPS is crazy now, 13.6, and my Hound is still 33. And then I wanted to show how I've been farming. So yeah, I got to 100D. I'm poor again. I spent all of it, but ended up liquidating literal chaos, chance orbs, exotic coinage, like everything I could. It turns out like all the catalysts are basically worthless. All the artifacts are basically worthless. The runes are all worthless. There's a lot of stuff I just completely filtered out because it's pretty worthless. Anyways, I wanted to show this. So, also small point. You only need to do one of the arbiters so that you get the final node on the map boss skill point tree, because it says 2 points can be earned for completing the Pinnacle of Flame quest. So you don't actually have to kill the arbiter more than once and get the whole tree. This is only if you're farming the arbiter, and I'm not really farming the arbiter, so you don't have to do this. By the way, I switched my ritual tree, so I was I was spreading the darkness, and then I switched it to From the Mist, 2 additional packs of wood monsters. And so the point is, sometimes I still get the 4 rituals. You usually get 3 or 4, and so sometimes you still get the 4 even without taking this node. The other thing is, I've noticed that these precursor tablets for ritual only drop from ritual monsters at the location. They don't actually drop from the... So once you start the mechanic and it respawns the monsters, those monsters in the loot explosion will drop an irradiated tablet. That's the +1 level. You only get the ritual from the monsters at the ritual site, and it includes like the ritual monsters packs that come with the ritual. So this node is actually extra, not only points, like it's really good for the points, it's actually possibly better than the 4 rituals for points. You also get more of the ritual precursor tablets, and of the like 5 precursor tablets, the most valuable is the ritual. So I've separated it to where these are all my other ones, and I don't pick them up unless they're 8+, 9+ of maps affected, because they're really like cheap, and I had too many of them, and I'm not even using them. And then I keep my ritual separate. And then I've been using, obviously, the high map rituals first, so that I get as many rituals from my towers, and I have to do less towers to get maps with ritual. And then you could see this. I have an absolute ton of ritual currently that I could still farm, so I'm over-sustaining the precursor tablets without trading for them, which is really nice. And the other node on the tree that I've been using to do this. So this helps a lot because, like I say, it's only the monsters at the ritual, not the respawned one. So having 2 additional packs of ritual monsters basically makes it so you get more precursor tablets for ritual, which is really important because you don't really want to juice the other mechanics. If you're targeting ritual, you want to just put as many ritual ones as possible because, some of them have... Revive monsters in your maps have 12% chance to be rare, and so you could, if you stack up a bunch of these really good ones, rare, magic, you have cost stuff, there's omens, like chance of omens, there's magic, and then this can combo with this to get you even more magic and rares revived. And then, like I say, you actually seem to get about as many points as the 4 ritual or more, because also it could be that the first 3 rituals put in a map are placed better than the 4th one. The 4th one could actually be in a terrible spot, potentially, especially on a lot of maps. They have tight spots and then like a tight dead end with no monsters, and there's just a ritual, and you start it and you get like 200 points, and you're just like, bro, it ended instantly. There was literally like no monsters. It happens quite often. when there's 4, so I'm not sure if that somehow improves it. Oh, and then yeah, I've taken the extra shrine stuff because when you do boss nodes, you get a free shrine, and then I also have the chance for an extra shrine. So then I get the extra shrine duration, and it's only 3 points because I'm already here. And then I also took the quantity of precursor tablets because, like I say, I was trying to sustain the ritual precursor tablets without buying them, and I finally am, and it's through this wildwood node and the precursor influence, yeah. Which then it makes me think, like, when I'm doing all these cool precursor tablets, you could technically increase the effect of the tablets again and double the effect and all that stuff. But then there's when you put the bad ones and they don't really have like favors deferred appear faster. Who cares? I don't care. I couldn't care less. It's also the fact of when you're actually doing this stuff and then you notice, like, okay, so not many towers are affecting this one. Like, it has a ritual, but it's not affected by that many. So spending all those points to increase the effect of the precursor thing, and then it's only re-rolling favors cost reduced tribute. So it's the actual re-roll is cheaper, and then you would basically take points off of your thing, which would take away probably points I would get just to save points, which I would probably prefer all the explicit so that I get more monsters, so I get more points and I get more loot, not just the cheaper reroll, you know what I mean? So a lot of these mods on these tablets kind of poopy. And then the increased is only like 40% or something, and it's 5 points, and then this is 20% of double, so it's like 20% increased. So 60% in 6 points. 10% per point in a way. And then, like I say, it's only of the precursor tablets, and it's only of the towers affecting the map. Like, if the towers were bigger ranges, if there was more mods on the things, if the mods were more insane, if I only had good tablets with good mods, and I was really cherry picking, maybe. Because, like, if I was only using increased chance for Omen, the rare monsters, the magic monsters, even that's really just mostly points, though, too. Because you get more points based on the rarity of the mob. And, like, unique monsters will give more. So then, I tell you about Ritual and how I've been making all my money through Ritual, but maybe I should have shown this first, but I plan to show you this. I actually should... Hold up. Can I show a picture? I think I can. I want to do that. Add image. I made a picture for this. Yeah, this worked. And it looks really good. So this is Omens. I'll show you it in game after too. But basically, this is showing you all the cheap ones. And so... you don't need alchemy. Coronation is regal. Refreshment is your flask. Your flask being refilled. Resurgence is the mana and life being refilled. This is decent. I stopped using it. I'll actually explain that first. So I only use Omen of Amelioration, and it's because they changed Omens in PoE 2. So before, you could use as many Omens as you wanted in your inventory in PoE 2, unlike PoE 1. PoE 1 was 1 Omen per instance, so you had to load a new instance to use another Omen, but because they made the Omens be part of crafting with the Omen of Corruption and the Omen of Whittling and all that other stuff, you're using them multiple times, and you can activate multiple in your inventory at one time by doing this, right? And it literally would trigger multiple in a row without resetting the instance, unlike PoE 1. Okay, so then it was working for these resurgences. I had multiple in my inventory, and multiple were triggering, and I had a resurgence trigger into an amelioration. And then I don't know when they changed it, but they now make it so only one Omen could be triggered from combat in each instance. So basically, apparently, this, then when I had this trigger, I died instantly, and my amelioration didn't save my XP, so I lost 10%. So it's just, don't use Resurgence and only use amelioration, because you can only use one, and like this doesn't actually have to save you. It can just not work because you don't reach low life, you just die, and then even if it does proc, you could still die. I just, let's say it's that bad of a situation somehow. This at least actually saves your XP and actually works, so I just stopped getting resurgences completely. I stopped buying them from the thing. That's why it has the mini cross out. And then, yeah, Omen of Corruption's worth something. The Omen of Amelioration is worth something. And then I skip the Exalt ones. Skip the Greater Annulment, but that's where the other annulments are actually worth stuff, and the Whittling is worth stuff, and the other Chaos ones are worth stuff. So I'll show you those now. In-game. Okay, so pretty much most are worthless, and you're pretty much going for Whittling, Eraser, and then the 2 annulments that aren't greater. You can also get greater Exalt, but it's really cheap, and you could just use it to add mods to your maps. It's cheaper than an X though, but it's good for adding mods to your maps when you're using X. And then it's also bugged that if your map can only get 1 mod and you slam it with this enabled, it'll use it, but only add 1 mod because it can't add 2. Okay, so Omen of Whittling, 7D, it went up. Eraser, 14D. Eraser, 11D. 12D for the Sinistral annulment, and Dextral annulment, 11D. So as you can see, huge money in omens, and then you want this probably at least for the ritual favors increased chance to contain omens. Technically, it should still work without this, as in like if you obviously you'll just get less, but you'll still get you hopefully will find ritual omens, and then they're worth a lot. You could even find the audience with the king to unlock this, but then this also increases your chance for the audience with the king to show up. So these 2 nodes are really huge. Would highly recommend it, but then I still think that ritual could be more profitable than a bunch of other league mechanics without even juicing the tree, just because of how expensive those omens are. You hit a single one and you're rich. Like where breach splinters are like 4 to 1x, so you actually like have to get rich off of everything else except for the breach stuff, because the breach splinters are cheap and the catalysts are cheap. You pretty much make money off of the breach rings and the gear and the currency that you drop, not really the actual breach stuff. Expedition, all the artifacts are worthless. It's basically just the exotic coinage, and then even exotic coinage it's not the greatest. Let's see. 63 per D. So 1.6x it's worth. So it's decent, but it's not like giga insane. And then like I say, the breach splinters is one of the weirdest ones. Which then I started thinking about if I should farm this for XP. How good the breach stone is for XP since the splinters are so cheap. Maybe this is the leveling method, but like 4 to 1 is crazy. You can't pick this up. You like at 1 at a time, you can't pick it up. 2 at a time, you can't pick it up. 3 at a time, you can't pick it up. You almost want to filter out X. Like 4 to 1, dude. They need to stack. I don't know. That's crazy actually. So it's like, how do you actually make this kind of currency with the other league mechanics besides ritual? And then I haven't even done my simulacrum, and I stopped putting Deli on my maps, and I run the Deli mirror, but yeah, Deli mirror actually honestly feels more rewarding than adding Deli fog to your map, like the actual oil. Using this Ire on my maps was meh compared to just hitting a Deli mirror. Obviously the other difference is that on your tree, to get a Deli, you actually have to do a Deli node with the Deli mechanic. But you can just do every node with the Deli oil on it. Like this, where the player is in area 7% delirious and 20% magic monsters. And like it is Deli, but it's not the same. It's definitely not the same. Not as many mirrors, not as many monsters. There's just random Deli mobs throughout the map, like way more in the Deli mirror. And then the loot explosion from the Deli mirror comes with the oils and stuff too, and I've been hitting despairs, which are kind of worth something. So to show that, despair. We were using these for our anoint as well. It takes like 2 of these, and yeah, they're like 12x, which is pretty sick. But we ended up anointing that step like miss thing. Yeah, which, oh, one more, because I did those levels, and I mentioned about the survivability diff, I had mentioned that I took out minion life, and and I still have 12k, I didn't actually mention where, and I was even thinking it while I was saying, I'm like, what am I missing? I remembered, I took off the right hand of darkness, left hand of darkness, sorry, 36 minion life, the extra 20 fizz damage reduction, and the 23 chaos res, I took this again because there was like those slither spitters, you know, those snakes that shoot the like chaos projectile. Yeah, that does a lot to the minions, with extra damage mods, and like there's a mod on your maps, monsters deal percent of the damage as chaos damage, and that this one 37% of damage as extra chaos, and then when you buff it up with the map effect mods, it goes up to like 60%. So all of a sudden all monsters are doing just an insane amount of chaos, and my minions actually don't have very much chaos res. They were only 27, so taking them up to 50 was huge. But now with this extra life, like I showed, the 12.3k, and then I don't run Feeding Frenzy on them. I run it on the Hound, and then the Hound has 17k. So yeah, I've been doing this combo, and now they're actually surviving better to the chaos damage, and also I clear better now just because of the higher damage, so things are dead faster so that they don't have to tank for as long, so then my stuff doesn't take as much damage as well, yeah. If I had another point, by the way, I would take out this 8% minion Ellie res. I will actually just show you what I would do. And I would put it here for this 10 damage. And then all I need is one more point, and I'd get 25 life back. And that would be huge. But then, yeah, they're not res capped technically for the max. Missing 5, and then this one would be missing 5 on the cold. It's because the Frost Mage comes with free cold res, and the Hound comes with free fire res, and then they have free lightning res because of the purity of lightning that I'm using. So it's technically less useful, that node of the 8% Ellie res in our setup, and it would be better to have the damage and then the minion life probably, especially because then it would be for physical and chaos, not just elemental. And then, yeah, for a single point, like this is a travel point basically, so to actually take it as a full point, it feels bad, because we travel like this, and we hit a 22 in one point, and the 20 in one point, and the 20 in one point, so 8 is actually kind of meh, especially with the more survivability, the extra damage, the stuff dying. Yeah, it's huge. But yep, omens are huge if you could actually hit them. To be honest, I've hit 2 omens of whittling, 8 of the bosses, and none of those other omens, so they are quite rare. But I figure that if you aren't doing ritual, that you have no chance of getting them, and so doing it should still be a higher chance of getting the omens than not doing it at all. Because even, like I said, even without the tree, this is only 50% increased, so you, in theory, if I've been finding them with it, then you should still find them without it. It just won't be as much, but then it could really like change it for like snowball for you, because then you get to reinvest or do the tree, which, yeah, I would recommend after you do, if you do 1 point of arbiter to get the last map boss skill point thing, to get the extra corrupted areas or the extra XP, that you would probably do ritual before doing the rest of the arbiter ones, unless you're deciding to farm arbiter. That's fine too. Small thing for the end of the thing is my ascendancy. I had Altered Flush into Bedet's Gaze and Will for the spirit and the mana. Been liking that. And then, yeah, this tree, since I had taken all the map effect. Technically, if you don't want the map effect, you could just make sure you have all the Waystone found higher, Waystone found chance, and then it'll be slightly easier. And you don't have to take the shrines. I just prefer it with my rituals to make the maps a little bit faster. And then, yeah, actual boss tree and my arbiter tree. I don't like the extra essence, and I don't like the extra strongbox. I did shrines, but then it's funny, the essence, I finally hit another greater essence. It only took 15 days of playtime, And so the way it works is apparently I was just doing essence, not intentionally. I just had essence on my map, and so the tree would just add extra essence to your map, and then randomly one of my essences, instead of being a normal, was a greater. So you just do hundreds of essence, and you finally get one. So like, I don't know that there's any like thing to it, but yep, I pretty much ran hundreds of essence and then finally got a greater. It just seemed to be random. Yep. Well, either way, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys have enjoyed this the Prism of Belief, and then the ritual stuff and the changes, and the DPS on our minions is getting pretty crazy. 13.9k, huge. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out, and got this. I got thanks to my Patreon and YouTube members who financially support the channel. Thank you to Rico, Joe No Mercy, David, Hannes, Cynic, Austin, Salad, Alex, Johan, and Hate. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.